Okay, so I want to tell you about someone named Elise. She's from France, and as an adult, she decided, you know what, I'm going to learn Norwegian. But here's the thing, she didn't just learn it. She got so good, so unbelievably good, that people in Norway, actual native speakers, mistake her for one of them all the time. Now, if you've ever even tried to learn another language, you know that's the holy grail, right? It's this almost mythical level of fluency that most people think is impossible. It's just incredible. So, naturally, everyone wants to know, what's her secret? How on earth did she do it? Was it some magic app, a secret grammar trick, some kind of shortcut nobody else has figured out? Well, when people first asked her, her answer was, let's just say, not super helpful. I mean, how frustrating is that? It's like asking a fish to explain water. For her, it was just what she did. It was so natural, she couldn't even explain it at first. But thankfully, she thought about it. She really dug into her journey and started to piece it all together. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack right now. The real story behind this incredible skill. All right, so first up, the mindset. See, the first piece of the puzzle here isn't some special technique or a learning hack. It's a mindset. It's about how she thought about learning before she even started. Basically, she took the rule book that most of us use and just tossed it out. Think about it. Most of us learn a language the same way, right? The traditional school way. You follow the textbook, you memorize these long lists of vocabulary, you do endless grammar drills. Well, Elise's method was the complete opposite of that. She ignored all of it and just followed her gut, focusing only on things that were important to her, in her life in that exact moment. Let me give you a perfect example of this. So pretty early on, she had to have an operation. So what's one of the first words she learns? The super complicated Norwegian word for nurse. I mean, no textbook is going to teach you that in chapter 1. But for her, it mattered right then and there. It was about her world, not some generic curriculum someone else made. So this gets to the core of her mindset. Elise just fundamentally doesn't believe in one-size-fits-all systems. For her, they're just broken. She was totally convinced the only way she would ever get fluent was to build her own system from scratch, one that was perfectly tailored to her brain and her life. And this wasn't just, a small preference. This was her core belief. Okay, next section, the Goldilocks conditions. Because let's be real here, a great mindset is awesome, but it's not going to get you to a native level all by itself. Elise's journey was powered by a really unique and probably unrepeatable set of circumstances. It was like the perfect storm for learning. How about this number? 5. 5 hours every single day. Just let that sink in for a second. That's not a hobby, folks. That's a full-time job. And her job was learn Norwegian. And the only reason she could possibly pull that off was because of this very specific situation she was in. So check this out. This all went down during the COVID pandemic. She was living at home with her parents, so no rent. She wasn't studying, she didn't have a job. And on top of all that, she had this incredibly powerful motivation. She'd fallen in love with Norway and with a Norwegian guy and knew she was moving there. I mean, you couldn't design a more perfect setup for intense, focused learning. All right, section 3, the 4 pillars of immersion. So we've got the mindset, right? And we've got the crazy circumstances. Now let's get into the good stuff, the nitty-gritty of what she was actually doing for those 5 hours a day. It really comes down to 4 main pillars. So pillar number 1 is that genuine motivation, which we already know was off the charts. Pillar 2, constant listening. And I mean constant. She had podcasts, radio, audiobooks, just playing in the background all the time, soaking in the sounds of a language even when she had no clue what they were saying. Pillar 3 is massive, massive repetition. And the 4th one, this is a big one, was learning words in context. Always in full sentences, never just as a single word on a list. And when I say massive repetition, I'm not kidding. It's kind of like how a little kid wants to hear the same exact bedtime story night after night until they know every word. That was literally her strategy. She would take a text and listen to it and read it over and over and over again. We're talking maybe 50 times, until it was just burned into her brain. And this is where it gets really wild. All that repetition led to something amazing. She learned grammar without ever studying grammar. Seriously, not one single grammar exercise.
What happened was, by drilling thousands and thousands of correct sentences into her head, her brain just started to pick up the patterns. The correct way to say something just started to sound right to her. She basically absorbed the rules, just like how we all learn to speak as kids.
Okay, last part, the takeaway. So after hearing all this, you're probably wondering, okay, can I do this? Is this the secret formula? Well, Elise has a very blunt and maybe surprising answer for you. And there you have it. Look, she's not trying to keep a secret from anyone. She's just being brutally honest about the insane level of obsession it takes. The truth is, most people just don't have the time or the perfect circumstances or, let's be honest, the pure willpower to pour their entire existence into one single thing the way she did. And this quote right here, this might be the actual secret. All the other stuff, the method, the hours, the repetition, that's all just a side effect of a certain type of personality. She's someone who gets energized by things that seem impossible. You know, where most of us would see a huge, scary goal and back away. She looks at it and goes, yes, let's do it. So look, the big lesson here isn't that you should go out and copy her exact method. It's about understanding the why behind it all. The point of her story isn't to give you a 5-step plan for learning Norwegian. The real takeaway is this. If you can find a goal that you are just completely, intensely, obsessively passionate about, you will find a way to do the impossible work to make it happen. Because in the end, the method isn't the magic key. The motivation is. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's the impossible goal out there that would light a fire under you? The kind of goal where spending 5 hours a day on it wouldn't feel like a chore, but would feel like what you are meant to be doing.